everyone. How are you going? It's so good to see you today for what happens to be, hooray, it's Friday. That has a nice ring to it. So I'm Courtney. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Australia, and welcome to my video. Watching me live or on replay, I hope you enjoy. I have been a demonstrator for 10 years, and I only recently, and probably pre-COVID, I never did videos. So you won't find as many videos on my channel as other places, but hopefully you can find some inspiration from some of them. If you're watching this on replay, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe. I'd like you to get, that way you get that little notification that, oh, ping, there's another, what's that thing called? They message me, say it's 4:01, and here I am, but I'm hoping that that works, so we'll see how we go. They'll find me. They'll find me. So I'm live on my Facebook, on my Facebook channel with my Stampin' Up! Facebook channel, and also on YouTube on my Stampin' Up! YouTube channel. So the girls will find me. They'll eventually cotton on to where I am, and then they'll be able to watch. So I'm trying to come to you live once a week. I normally come on a Thursday, but we had some stuff at work happening and I had to go into work, and there's a few Thursdays that I'm working coming up, so I will reschedule those to a Friday. If you see me, if I'm working on a Thursday, I will put a notice up on my Facebook page in the morning of that day so that you know to check back in the next day. Hi, Glenda. How are you going? Yes, you finally caught me live. It's because it's Friday. It's a better day. So what's happening in Stampin' Up! World at the moment? We've had a new release, a new drop of online exclusives. We've got pre-order for Celebration. It's got a long lead time this year, which is excellent because it means that we've got a lot of time to prepare, and then we won't get caught up in the Christmas rush. What that means for customers is that if you're thinking of joining, the joining kit is $169. You'll get $235 worth of product, and you can even pick from the new releases, the new online releases, or the new, what are they called? Celebration items that are coming out, or the new catalog items that's starting in January for everyone else. So keep that in the back of your mind, but always keep in the back of your mind that the best deal in the catalog is always a join kit. It nets you not only 33%-ish, let's say ish discount at the beginning, you get free shipping on that $235 worth of product, but then you'll get a continuing discount all the while that you stay active. So that's something to keep in mind if that's something that's on your radar. So check your wish list. If your wish list is heading up there, then please touch base. If it's getting greater than $169, a joining kit is really a good deal. And I have a little group called the UniQ Crafters. We're quite unique. That's what we always say anyway. We've got a unicorn as our little logo-y thing. So if you'd like to join us on the UniQ Crafters, please be in touch, or click that join button on there's a little bit in the blurb you'll see there. The other thing is, if you don't subscribe to my newsletter yet, there's also a link there for you to subscribe to my newsletter. I'm not one of those people that send out 10,000 emails every day, because I don't know about you, I don't have time to read them, I don't have time to write them. You'll get a couple of emails from me each month. Some of them will show you some new stuff, some of them will show you some links. Hi, Cheryl. Some of them will show you some of the cards that I've made, so links to the cards that I've made in the previous. You'll actually notice I'm starting to reshare cards that I've made previously on my lives. I'll share them on a Friday as a flashback for Friday, just so that you don't miss anything. But if you don't want to miss anything, hit that subscribe button and let's get rocking and rolling. Okay. He's hearing me in the other room, but that's okay. Hey, Tony, how you going? And for everyone that doesn't know, that's my darling hubby. All right, 110% support here. Support from you guys. Hit the like button. Show me some love, that sort of stuff. Sometimes that is all that it takes to get me shared to someone else. So that's always good. And the more followers we get, the better the more encouragement that I get to continue to share with one of my passions with you. I did share yesterday evening late this page here. You can see, ooh, how good's my pointy finger? That's my latest scrapbook page. I belong to a scrapbooking global group. It is a scrapbooking group on Facebook. If you want to join it, let me know. I'll flick you the link. I might actually pop it in the comments down the bottom. Anyone can join that's interested in seeing scrapbooking products, scrapbooking pages with our products. That or even sharing their pages with the scrapbooking on the Scrapbooking Global page, you're most welcome. All right, so without further ado, today I'm going to flip you over. I'm going to be sharing the cake celebrations. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this card is this creation is, and I'm making it from scratch right now with you. It is going to be one of my class cards tomorrow. For those that haven't joined my classes before, I do also do class in a box. It's the same price as class in a class present, but the difference being is that you get a photo of the cards rather than actually getting to touch and feel them. You get a photo of the cards. You also get the kit. So for example, I'll just show you one of tomorrow's kit. They're getting this stamp set. Everyone that's coming tomorrow was offered the opportunity to upgrade to the whole bundle, which I always make a great deal. The kit last time, we do it alternating. For the kits, you get a stamp set and the card making kit. You get to make 6 cards. There's 3 different cards and you make 2 of each one, and there's a whole baggie full of things that you can actually use. And then alternating months, you get a product share. So for example, one of the other months we had a product share of the designer series paper, a product share of the little dots, and then in there came all the goodies that you needed to create the cards. So there was enough in here for 2 cards to create those 2 cards, those 2 and those 2. This one here happened to be one of the cards, for example. So, keep that in mind. If you're local to the Central Coast, you're most welcome to join us. We do our card classes on the last Saturday of the month. They also will run on the last Sunday of the month if I get more than 4 people for that, okay? But they always run on the last Saturday of the month because I already have quite a nice size group that comes to that. Okay, so Glenda's saying hello to Sharon, and Sharon hasn't commented, but I bet she might be here. So, alrighty. Okay, so cake celebrations. This is one of the new online exclusive stamp sets. It's a photopolymer stamp set. We've got some some great words here. Celebrate birthday. It's even got an anniversary there. A bit hard to come by those ones. Wedding, happy days. So you can do a lot of mix and match. I've pulled in some paper that's name has forsaken me. I'm just going to grab it. It's from our annual catalogue. I'm sure you've all seen it before. This is called Country Woods. I'm using this piece here, which actually has a very nice wood pattern on the back, but I do like this painted pattern. This piece here is actually my favourite piece out of the whole lot. And I don't know about you guys, but you worry about cutting into your favourite piece, just buy another packet. That's what I did. Then we've got this piece here. There's lots of timber. There's lots of dark, nice paint peeling type thing. You can almost feel it if you rub. It's almost like you're going to get splinter, but no, it's just paper. So then we've got this piece here with this on the back. Nice whitewash, reminds of an old boat shed, that one. And this fabulous one here, which has got our grey on the back. So the colours that are in this bundle of papers, we've got basic beige, basic grey, crumb cake, early espresso, grey granite, misty moonlight, pecan pie, petal pink, pool party, smoky slate, and wild wheat. Now, yeah, there's your wild wheat. Okay, so nice colour combinations, nice for both feminine cards and for masculine cards. Now, I did have a special request for this weekend's class, so that's what we're going to be doing here, is we're going to start looking at doing, I know it's still, I should be still doing Christmas cards, but I'm not. I'm going to do this one. This is going to be a blokey sort of card. So something for the fellas. I've got some pool party. And I've got a card base of early espresso, and I was going to bring over some, I was going to use pecan pie, but I made the decision that I didn't particularly like it with my pool party. It doesn't look too bad, but I thought it'd make a nice chocolate cake. So let's have a bit of a play and we'll see what we come up with. Because I've pulled these out of their packet. These are the dies. So in the dies, we've got a little banner. We've got this one here is for our candles, but we've got some cake frosting. We've got a what's that thing called? Cake tray. Oh, I don't know where my words are today, but that's all right. And it's actually got two pieces so that you can make it 3D, right? There's some cutouts for our leaves and our flowers and all of those sorts of things. And we've got, you know, some, if you want to put some ribbon or some teared pieces of paper looking things onto your cake, you can. Cake has different textures even in our stamp. So just something for you to be aware of. Now, they are all separate except for these two, for example. Okay, so these are solid stamps. You will need to give them a bit of a scrub with your with your chamois beforehand, just to take off the it's like it's not an oil, but it's like a surface that you get on them when they're new. I also brought over some pool party to pop on the inside to make it so that the card follows through from the front. Now, I normally put white in the inside of my cards, as do most people. Yes, we do need a Sharon to help with my pronunciations today, but I don't think it's that Sharon that's online. I think it's my scrapbooking friend Sharon that's online, not my speech therapist Sharon. All right, so what I've got, nobody said that the insides have to be white. So I was looking at that and thinking, well, that actually looks quite nice. We can have that on the inside because no matter what pen you write in there, you're going to be able to see it. So it doesn't have to be white. All right. So just keep that in mind when you're making cards at other times. All right. You can use other colors on the inside. This one here, I was actually thinking how nice it would look, because I'm going to sit this piece on top of it, but how nice that would look with our bricks. All right. This is our exposed brick embossing folder. All right. And there's a couple of things that you can do with an embossing folder. Nobody said that you have to do them straight up and just straight emboss on it. You can add ink to these. Now, I will give you a hint. If you make cookie or you use fondant, if you give these a really good wash before you use them, because, you know, things get a bit grotty, you can stamp on your fondant with these. It's just a matter of putting the rolling pin over the top of it. Just so if you're a baker, because I know that people don't usually only do one craft. All right. You will need the big cut and emboss machine for this embossing folder. So I'll just move everything out of the way. And this one will need our base plate and our number 4. So I'll just pull these over. Number 4 being the grey plate, or if you've got the old Stampin' Up Big Shot, then it's a blue plate. Okay, where it says Stampin' Up on these guys, that is the top. That is where you will actually get your embossed image. The other side is classed as a debossed image. Now, because these are bricks, they do go straight across. It is positional. Just make sure that you line it up right, okay? Otherwise, your bricks are going either in the wrong direction. It looks like they're all standing on their end, but you don't want them to be crooked. Now, I can do a lot of things crooked. I'm actually very good at it, and sometimes I do it very deliberately. But bricks need to be straight, I'm afraid. Okay. So I'll just take these bits away. All right. Now, if you wanted to, you could have put some ink on here, and then all of your bits that are sticking up, for want of a better way of putting it, will have colour on them. That is the deboss side. I'm not sure if you can see the difference. See how those bricks are sticking out, whereas on this side the cement is sticking out. It's like you've got the worst brickie ever, man. But anyway, we don't need to go worrying about them. This is a dauber, and these are blending brushes. So two different tools. They both do similar sorts of things, but they actually work completely different. If I was to blend on here, it will go, because these little bristles are so fine, it will go all into all of those little pieces and all those crevices, and you'll end up with just one color on there. With a dauber, you have a little bit more control. Okay, you can just wash them with warm soapy water and let them dry. Believe it or not, this is crumb cake. One thing you need to do is you don't want to make it too, I'll just pop a little bit on here. You just want a little bit. And if you go over it ever so slightly along that top, only the bits that are sticking up are going to get color on them. And it just adds a little bit of something. Now, the reason why I'm daubing it on my, over here on my espresso is because I'm going to cover that for starters. But sometimes when you first put the ink onto your sponge, you get like a streaky line, and I'm just trying to avoid that because it doesn't look right. Now, half of this is going to get covered, so I really only need it to go on the half that's going to be exposed. Oh, exposed bricks, exposed ink. So what you'll see is it's ever so slightly, and it just gives a little hint of color, just to make it so that you can, it's like it just makes it highlighted a bit. Okay, so we're just giving it a little bit of color. If you wanted to age this piece a little bit, you can go around the edge and age it a little bit as well. Right? It just sometimes, it just makes it, I don't know, or aged. A bit like, remember when we used to have, did a school project and you had to burn something? This is so much easier. I wish my mum had, way back then, had ink pads and stuff. That would have been so much easier to burn the edge of my cardstock or my project. I think I'm going to like that up that way. Okay, now I do have this piece here for my cake, so you can see a lot of that's getting hidden. I haven't decided yet whether this piece in the middle is going to be Pool Party or whether this piece in the middle is going to be white. So hence, I haven't actually cut it yet. All right, so I do know that this is 6.5 by 10. And I do know that I've got pieces of white and everything here for it. But let's play first. So I'm putting those bits to the side because it does look grungy, and I love the grungy look, or antiqued, or whatever you want to call it. Let's make cake. So I know that my husband's favorite cake is caramel, but we have a favorite birthday cake here when we're not having Freddo Frog cake. We all like one called chocolate velvet cake. Now, chocolate velvet cake is a very dark chocolate, but today it's going to be in the crumb cake color, okay, because I'm going to put a chocolate ganache on it, and that is going to be my espresso. Ah, I see. Shaz is listening while driving. I see now. Ah, okay. She hanging out with you, Glenda, is she today? Nice. All right, so I'm going to cut my cake pieces out in crumb cake, and I'm going to grunge them up as well. So I'm going to add some color to them. Now, this stamp here, well, where's the packet? How fabulous is that? I reckon that would look amazing. If you're making a wedding cake and you wanted to do, I've got a friend that makes cakes down the road, but when she makes a cake with the gold foil on it, because apparently there's this edible gold foil that you can get, and they put this gold foil on the cakes, and that just reminds me of that. So a wedding cake with like a white wedding cake with beautiful gold foil, like, can you imagine how lovely that would be? Anyway, so it just reminds me that it can be so smick. What we're going to do is we're going to make the big cake, because I don't know about you, but you've got to have big cake. Chocolate mud cake is my favorite. No, it's not. You like caramel. Ugh. But anyway, who am I to know to tell him that he likes chocolate mud cake or not? Anyway, so let's have a, all right, well, chocolate mug cake. Let's go. That's easier. So these here are my frosting. We need them. Now, these can be really hard to get out at the beginning, and you're not going to break them, okay? But if you put your fingerprints all over the tape, it sort of stops it from being so, what's the right word for it? Sticky. And when you stop it from being so sticky, you have a tendency not to, it doesn't stick to the, like I found it sticks to these bits here really good, and we don't want that. Okay, so we're going to need, we might put candles on this cake. And because it's bloke cake, we're not having flowers. No flowers for the bloke cake because he doesn't need any cakes. It's not, this card's not for Tony's birthday because it's been and gone. He's a September baby. All right. So we are going to, oh, I brought over some silver foil. However, I am looking at this thinking that I might like to do a pool party cake stand. All right, who wants to vote? Pool party or silver cake stand? Okay, keeping in mind this cake is going to be for a guy. Okay, I'll just put those out of the way and we'll make some cake while you guys vote for pool party for the cake stand or silver. All right. So if we do it in pool party, I'll stamp it. If we do it in silver, I don't need to stamp it. So to cut things out, we need 1, 2, and 2 numbers 3s. So we're going to have some cake topping because cake topping is chocolate. What I'm going to do, no, I really want to do crumb cake. I'm going to make it so that I can do cut both pieces at the same time. All right. Yep, it stuck to me. That's the other thing I find. Okay, we've got a couple of votes for silver. All right, Sharon, what are you thinking? Or is Sharon with you, Glendy? You both decided on silver? We've been married for 27 years now, since he's asking. He's only asking because he doesn't remember. That's what I'm going to tell him anyway. All right. Okay. So we're going to have silver at the bottom. Okay. All right, well, we'll do silver at the bottom, so I need to pull that other piece out. All right, how many layers on my cake? Just 2? Now he's chuckling. He must have me on his headphones because I can't hear me, which is good. Now, when you use your foils, what I have a tendency to do, and I think I've told you this before, is I have a tendency to cut out my pieces just a little bit, because if I put that nice piece of foil all the way through there, it's going to get, the rest of it will get texture because my plates are very, very loved, for want of a better way of putting it. Oh, yeah. All right, look, he's sucking up now. Okay. Okay, so we're doing a foil base cake stand in silver. It's always nice to have a bit of bling, for want of a better way of putting that. It's sort of like a bling, isn't it? It's funny because I can tell what the lag time is on here, because I can hear him commenting in the background when he finally hears what I've said. All right, so there's one cake stand, and there's its extra piece so that we've got a cake stand with a little bit of texture on it. All right, here's our cake. All right, he's going to get a very nice looking cake here. It's 2 layers. It must be a big party. He's not that old. We aren't having a big party yet. All right, so with our, because your cake is not flat, for want of a better way of putting it, we have got some stamps that can add some texture to our cake. So oh, there's wildlife. Okay. That can move. It just ran under the board. We've got some texture that we can add to our cake. And that one's not big enough. Go with this one. So we can add, and look, I should have stamped this out first, but we can add a bit of texture to our cake. All right, that needs to go that way. And I've got crumb cake to do it, because although we like chocolate cake, it'll be too much if it's too dark. Okay, so this is going to get covered. So I'm just going to, all right, yep, that's going to work. Okay, so I'm just going to put that on there like that. And a bit like that. Okay, so we've got a marbled chocolate cake, all right? That's what we're having today, marbled chocolate cake, and we'll have a top layer of marbled chocolate cake as well. Let's put that over to the side. Hold your tongue right to make sure it's nice and straight. Okay, bit of marbled chocolate cake. Now what I'm going to do, you're going to have a cake, make it a big one. I agree, Glenda. I'm just going to put some texture around the edge here. There's like a little bit of a lip around there. It might be a bit difficult to see, but see, that's from the die. So it gives you a really nice feature. Don't necessarily need to do it around the top too much, because I am going to add those little bits of icing. Okay, and let's put them on. Okay, so we've got these two. The drip cakes are all the rage at the minute. Okay, I'm going to make that the top, and we're going to have a nice drip cake here. So that one's going to end up sitting on there. This is where you take your pick tool, the one not with the brush end, but the other end will come in handy. All right, that's going to sit on there quite nicely. So I'll just pop a little bit of adhesive, no, not like that. Little bit, a couple of adhesive dots, just a little couple. You don't want too many. Okay, I splopped it all over the table. And then we'll put that on there using our take your pick tool, just so that you can line it up with the top quite nicely. Okay, and it does hang over the edge a bit. Now I've just got a bit of glue here, so I'll just find a scrap to pop that away. Okay. Oh, that's all good. And then this one here is going to sit on that. So I'm thinking, yeah, that makes a better top. Okay. This just holds onto it quite nicely whilst I am popping some glue on here. I do like to, it's funny because we all have our different ways of doing things. I do like to put my glue onto my I put my glue onto my smallest piece, and I do like to put my glue on whilst I'm holding the piece up in the air. It just seems to give me a bit more control. And I've just turned this around just to make it so I've got a bit more control. Now, you will think that the piece is bigger than your cake, which it is ever so slightly. I'm not sure if you can see that. See how it's sticking out over the edge? And that's because your drip sticks over the edge. It sort of falls, it gives an extra bit of texture to the cake. Okay, although that one seems to be floating a little bit in thin air. He won't notice, will he? Okay, so that's my cake. Where did I put my bits of silver? And it's going to sit quite nicely on that. It does look like a marbled chocolatey sort of cake, doesn't it? All right. Oops. And my little piece of my cake stand. It's cute. It just gives it some texture. Oh, look at that. I'm thinking that it's going to need to go on a piece of white, but that's all right. Actually, yes, it's going to have to go on a piece of white. So here's one I prepared earlier. These are just the pieces that I've got already cut up. You could put a bit of greenery around it if you wanted. You could put a little bit of gold embossing on it if you wanted. Depends on how special he's feeling or how many he's turning. So, all right. So we'll go with white. Now that was 6.5. So I'll do, oops. If I remember correctly, it was 6.5. Yep. Okay. All right. So we've got our cake. And it's going to sit quite nicely on the front there. Nobody said it has to be this big, but it just is going to look pretty magnificent. I might bring that down there so it doesn't look like my cake's floating in the breeze. And I need the room for my candles anyway. Okay. He could do one of those topsy-turvy cakes where it's like crooked as a dog's hind leg. If you have cake here, sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. But you could do it deliberately to make it look crooked. I think that would be a bit of fun, but that's just me. Now you need coffee. Well, yeah. I did say grab a cuppa and come and join us. All right, so we need some candles. So I've got a couple of different colours over here. I'm thinking I might do Misty Moonlight candles. I know that we've got a board full of, or a card full of Pool Party, but I am liking the idea of Misty Moonlight. So there is candles and there is flames, okay? So your candles, if you want to sit there and patiently color your candles in all different colors, you can. That's your choice. But I am going to actually stamp them. Now there is a die to cut them out. But looking at where I've put my cake, I'm thinking that I will actually put them straight on that piece of basic white. Why am I doing that? Because I think that the candles need to stick back a little bit. You don't sit them on the front of the cake. You often sit them on the top of the cake. And so they look like, if you were on that angle, they look like they're a little bit into the background a bit. So that's where I'm going to put them. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can eyeball it and then just make it up as you go. Or you can bring in your lead pencil, move your top cake down a little bit and just put a little line there. So that's approximately where my cake's going to sit, because it's going to sit just over that line. Okay, so that just makes it so that you don't end up stamping too far down or too far up. Okay, because we don't want to do that. The candles are only little and we don't want them to look like they're already being burnt for a bit. All right, so I'll just, and these are new, so I'm just giving them a bit of a rub before I use them. And this is Misty Moonlight, and it will stamp beautifully, and we want it to be straight, and we want it to be pretty. And there it is there. Now we've got, I brought over some Daffodil Delight. The choice is yours whether, oh, I've got to see which way up they go. Oh, like that. Because one, I don't know if you, yeah, you can see it. It's very tiny, but that candle in the middle is bigger than everyone. Cake looks drunk. I'll give you cake looks drunk. Yeah. He's almost he's commenting along the way that he's almost at the stage where he needs to he'll set the fire alarms off with the number of candles he needs. So there's my candles. Now candles are light and sparkly. There's this really cool Stampin here, and I will do it. I'll put some of it on there, but I think I'll wait until I've got my cake and everything settled. So I will close this up. All right, I'm just popping everything to the side. All right, so this piece here is actually going to sit flat on there. Do you think the girls will like this one tomorrow? Cheryl's watching. She's coming to class tomorrow. All right. Who has new candles for every cake? How many do we need to rummage through the junk drawer? Yes. Does anybody else do that? Need to rummage through the junk drawer? This, oh boy, I have got them bad today. This little guy will benefit from having mini dimensionals, of which I have none on my table. Oh, yes, here they are. Stop looking, everyone. Okay. Because I'm going to put this one, the first cake layer on dimensionals, and the top tier on flat. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is because it will also show, again, that depth. And that's one of the things about our cards is that we can do that. Hallmark, when they make cards that can be mass produced. They're nice and flat usually, and if they do have something on them, they only have one layer, and you know, they're not personalized like these beauties. All right, just get these off. Okay, I'll just stick this one here. Now, if you've got your blends around, actually, I've got a little mini. It's got purple on it though. I think it's been washed. If you've got actually that one's got crumb. It's got crumb cake on it. The cake's going to give a bit of shadow. Okay, the stand, so you can do a little bit of shadow off to the side here, just so that your cake provides a bit of shadow. I'll bring that that's all right, Sharon, you can catch up on replay later. I'll bring that closer so you can see. So what I've done is I've put a little bit of shadow on one side, just so that the cake's providing a bit of shadow. Okay, Sharon's off to do groceries. She's a lucky duck. We got to do that later. All right, and here's our normal size dimensionals for our cake. We'll have that and that. Make sure we stick it up the right way, hey? And he doesn't want a wonky cake. He wants a straight cake, I've been told. He doesn't realise this cake's not for him. And because we put the line there before, we can stick our, oh look, he's bought me a cup of tea. He's a good egg. We can put our cake there, and as you can see, our candles stick perfectly out the top. All right. It's looking pretty good, isn't it? Yes, Cheryl will have a head start on the ladies tomorrow. She knows at least what we're doing. I think Amanda might be watching as well, so she'll know too. Okay, Tony doesn't realise I'm going to get him to cut these tonight. Shh. Okay, then we've got this little guy. All right, because it's nice and bright. Those candles, there's so many candles on there. Not. Just stamp it off a little bit. And although these are like fireworks, okay. Yeah, can you see them? All right, they just look pretty. That's the thing with doing it on the inside. Okay. Now I did bring over my little barrel of twine because I do think it needs something on here. It needs the word celebrate. Doesn't it? So the word celebrate is relatively big. And I could put celebrate you. I could put happy birthday. But I think celebrate's going to be the one. So what I might do, the other thing is too, sometimes it's nice to make, and I should have done this before because I don't know where my dimensional is now. Tony. Oh, there's the bug. It's come out from underneath my mat now. If you're not very good at tying bows, that's okay. You can tie a bow separate. But even though this is for a bloke, I think it needs a bit of a bow on here, just so that needs to be bigger. Okay. You can see him in the background there. What's he up to? No good. All right. I'm just tying a little bow on here. If you're not very good at tying bows and you find it easier to tie bows on a block or differently, then you can, and then just attach it with a glue dot. Or tie it on before you stick it down. He's ratting through my things. He's up to no good. I know he is. Okay, snips. Here we go. He thinks he's not being supervised. That's why he can do it. A little bit of twine on there because I do like a little bit of twine on them.
You want dimensionals?
I've got dimensionals. He's trying to help. I'm just unwinding these bits of twine just because I think I like how it looks better. Okay, when they're unwound. I've got them, honey. It's okay. He's being a good helper. Okay, let's stick this all together because I need to work out how I can get this word celebrate along the front. Look, I've got dimensionals. There's some here and there's some here. But you can kill that wildlife. That's good. Okay, the bug is gone. Okay. So I just put my brick on. Make sure I get it right around the right way to make sure that I've got the area that I've coloured. Oh, it's crooked. Ah, no. All right, fixed. Okay. And I'm just going to stick that one. It's like layer upon layer upon layer. Stick this one here on. Again, another little bit of adhesive. I might stick it up. I thought I decided to put it up the other way, but I think I like it this way. Now, I have cut that the same length as my brick piece. And you can cut it so that this piece is smaller and you just butt them against each other, but I just found it easier just to do that. There's our cake. If you want to use the word celebrate on the front, you've got a couple of options. You can stick it on, and you can stick it on with a flag, which will mean that I'll stick this up a bit higher, and it can go across that bottom piece in the middle. Okay, so it can sit across here, right? Or you can actually cut it out. Now, if Amanda's watching, she's going to poo-poo me if I tell you to fussy cut this. I can tell you that now. And she won't want to do it tomorrow at class. Okay, so to make things a bit easier, now Amanda, I'm being kind here. What I'm going to do here, this is just one of, I cut my basic white into, and then I put it in little packets like this, and then we end up with these bits left over. Okay, so I've got all these bits, but what you can do with those is you can use them for die cuts. These small little flowers will fit on them perfect, the leaves will fit on them, and they'll all cut out with these little bits. But it's also nice to do as flags. So celebrate. I'm going to stick it down this end. Not bad considering I didn't clean it first. All right. And I can make it a little bit thinner just because it's got the option there too, because that word's not as big as that space. So this trimmer cuts really, really close, and it's very accurate, especially when you've got a new blade in, which I do. And you can cut the finest little pieces off. Now, now with little pieces like this, and you can fold them in half. And if your trimmer's been getting a lot of love, you can put it into the groove and just drag it down. Now, I actually cleaned this the other day because I replaced the blade. But what that will do is that'll take out, and you can use a bigger piece, any size piece you want. The trimmer groove gets a lot of fluff in it, and if it's clean, it will cut better. So if you're starting to get fuzzy edges on your, oh, I need that still. If you're starting to get fuzzy edges on your trimmer, on your bits of paper as you're cutting them, give that a whirl first. Turn the blade around is another option, because sometimes you find I don't know about you guys, but I find that I cut one way more often than the other. And that blade is double-sided. So, and it's a sharp edge. So just be careful of your fingers. Right. So the word celebrate. Now, oh, that's the other thing. My fine tip glue pen's not working because I left the lid off it while I was away at retreat. But your fine tip glue, this one looks like a new one. When you've put all this card together, if you want to make your, no, this one's not working either. Yeah, I left the lid off at retreat, so it's not working properly. With your fine tip glue, if you want to make it so that this piece is glossy, you've got a couple of options. You can just gloss a piece of your early espresso and let it dry, and then cut it out. No problems. Or you can put, if your fine tip glue pen's working, you can put the fine tip glue on those and let them dry. When they're on there, then it becomes shiny. It's just nice. It gives it a little bit more bling. Or you can put some embossing powder on here, emboss it in clear embossing, and again, then you can also make it shiny. So there's a couple of different ways that you can make your cake ganache nice and shiny. All right, so what I'm going to do with this is I am going to trim it. I'm going to cut it about here, and I'm going to put a little bit of flag on it. So when I do a flag, I cut a little bit into the center, and I'm just eyeballing where my center is. If you want to be perfect, you can use your trimmer and put a little bit of a slice in it. And then I cut from side to side to that point, and that will give you that nice flag. All right. So it's up to you if you want to put it across there a bit, but that's such a nice little, nice silver. Actually, that looks pretty good. Or you can put it down here, which is actually what I had planned to do. So we'll put it down there because I don't want it to take away from here. Right. And then I'm going to put this piece here, needs to be a little bit longer than that. And I'm going to flag it as well. Exactly the same way, it's just a smaller piece. And it's going to sit underneath of it. And we'll push it along because I only want it to sit about that far along. So this just needs to be trimmed up a little bit more. And I'll just use the edge of my word celebrate as a ruler. Gosh, I've made a mess. Okay. This one's going to go on flat. Hold your tongue right when you're sticking it down. This one's going to go on dimensionals. Again, because it's nice and fat, we can use my favorite, which are the fat ones. And it should only need 2, but it's me, so it's getting 3. I don't use as many as Bruno Bertucci, let me tell you. But that's all right. Okay, and then that one is going to sit there against that space and onto there. This piece here needs to be glued down. You can put it on dimensionals if you want. If you're handing the card to someone or popping it with their gift, it would look nicer on dimensionals. If it's going in the mail, as much as it's nice to make things really nice and fat, the machines seem to chew them a bit. My friend Cheryl seems to get quite a lot of chewed mail out of our Liz-Rose sorting centre. Now, the guys like a little bit of bling as well. So with these are the earth tone shimmer gems. You'll see that I've been using them quite a bit. These little ones over here, which are like a creamy colour, when I pop them in the center of these, because it's going to get off, they just make it look a little bit cuter. Okay, and that means there's going to be 4. We can't have that nonsense. So I need to stick another one in. Okay. So we need one more up here. Don't want to make it look like a triangle. There you go. Okay, now the inside. So what I was saying before about the inside, if you want to make it green or pool party, you can. It doesn't need to be white. My envelope's white, so the inside can be white if you want. All right, but it doesn't need to be. I'm feeling a bit crowded here. Let's just move some things out of the way. Okay. Yeah, the inside doesn't need to be white, but it can. He's got a new toy. He's out there playing with it. But the other thing you can do if you want to, you can add, see, white will work. Actually, that would look nice. Let's do that. Oh, I've got an idea. The pool party would look fabulous, but white will work as well. So we're going to use white, and this will bring the pool party in. Okay. Let's take my candles off. Okay. Just to give it a little bit of a pattern look. Just down the side. Okay, and I've just got ink all over the top here. we can do that along the back of our envelope as well. Pretty. Okay, just give it a bit of a pattern. Okay, he's done a runner now. Okay, and we might bring in a little bit of that. Let's bring my trimmer in, because I'm just going to add a bit of an early espresso strip, only 1/2 centimetre. You could use designer series paper if you wanted to, whatever you choose, just to break this up a little bit. Okay, pop it on that side. Just a pretty little decorative feature. And we do have to put, what are we celebrating? Let's celebrate a birthday because we've got cake. We might as well. So we can put on the inside the words happy birthday. Now, it's up to you how you put them on, but my suggestion would be one at a time. All right, actually don't need that block, I just need this block. And I'd be inclined to start with the birthday word first. And early espresso is what I want, because I'm going to bring that colour through, because that's what our envelope's made of. So eyeballing my lines. Let's use a spotty one. Just so that I can get it straight. And then we'll use the word happy. Make sure we've got happy up the right way, because it sort of works both ways, but not really. Happy birthday. Okay. And that can go on the inside of our card. If you wanted to, you could layer it on this piece here, but we're not going to today because we've added that not soft sea foam. What am I thinking? I've added our pool party in on that side. Okay. And we'll just pop this in here. Try and make it straight, Court. Looking fabulous, if I do say so myself. Okay. And look at that. What do you think? Do you think they're going to love it tomorrow? I do. It's turned out quite nicely, if I do say so myself. All right, so that is Cake Celebrations. It is a bundle, 10% off if you buy both of them at the same time. It's just shy of $70. If you want to get the class kit, message me and I can organise that for you in a bag or in a box. The other option is if anyone pops an order through of $70 or greater, even if you don't get this, I will post you out a kit. Okay, so from now until the 30th, if you pop an order in that's greater than $70, you will get the kit for tomorrow's class. Okay, so let me just pop this back up here and say thank you all for joining me. It was really good to see you. Oh, look, Maeve's got a treat for you. Hey, These are yummy. These are for class tomorrow as
Where's the
well. The camera is right there. Wait, go and eat it. So look forward to seeing those of you that are coming. Keep in mind, I'm not doing class in December because the last weekend in December is just after Christmas. And I don't know about you guys, but we'll be busy. And I'm presuming that you will be, or you'll be relaxing because you've already been busy. So there won't be class in December. There's class tomorrow and there's class tomorrow. The next classes after that will be coming up in January. So watch this space. I will pop the information onto my Facebook page. For those of you that are not following my Facebook page but are watching me on YouTube, head over to Courtenay Houston Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator on Facebook, and so that you get, and like that page so that you get the notifications of when I pop up my classes. The other thing is, if you're on YouTube and you haven't hit that red subscribe button yet, just below here, just give it a little press and it will go ping every time I go live so that you won't miss us. It was lovely to see you all.